Most people have experienced a Florida beach vacation. I have been fortunate enough to visit Navarre Beach, Destin, Panama City Beach, and Pensacola. Imagine for a moment yourself on the beach. Close your eyes and think about lying under a beach umbrella, waves slowly lapping against the beach, a cold drink in your hand, and your toes in the sand. It's relaxing just thinking about it. My name is Amy Pedalore, and I'm here to tell you about a different type Florida vacation. In July 2018, my family and I took a different type Florida vacation. We traveled to Fort White, Florida, and Panama City Beach, Florida. Our first destination was Fort White, Florida. This is in northern central Florida. What is in Fort White, Florida, you may ask? The most beautiful springs you could ever imagine. My husband and his children had visited the springs several years prior, around 8 years ago, so they knew what to expect. My husband really enjoyed it so much that he wanted me to see it in myself. He said, "You can't describe its beauty," and he's right. My daughter and I had never been, so we didn't know what to expect. The water was crystal clear, but it was very, very cold. It's 72 degrees. If you can't imagine how cold that is, think for a moment how it feels to take a very cold shower or a cold bath that is straight cold water. Well, that's about 78 degrees, so it's almost like taking an ice bath. That doesn't sound very appealing to some people, I know. But if you can work up the courage and put on your diving mask and just jump in, which you have to do because it's so cold, you just have to jump in. But once you get underwater, it is truly amazing. There were just fish everywhere, turtles, just you can't imagine the beauty. You could see for just yards and yards, clear, clear water. We went to one particular spring. We actually went to 7 springs in 3 days. But one particular spring that we went to was called Blue Springs. It looked just like being on the beach. They had a platform built where people could jump off above the springs. I didn't particularly feel like doing that, but we walked down the run to the run, which a run is where the springs lead into other springs or into the river. We swam down the springs. One thing I would tell you is you need a snorkeling mask and you need fins because you do a lot of swimming and you get very tired. So we were swimming down this run and it was like being in a tropical rainforest. The fish, the turtles, actually if you swam close to the edge, it actually have caves beneath there, and I mean you could swim into the caves. I didn't want to do that because I'm claustrophobic, but some people do like that kind of thing. A springs vacation, for the most part, is very serene and secluded. It's not many. There are people at the springs, but it's not overcrowded, and it's a very quiet type nature vacation. The budget for accommodations for this type trip are a little pricey though. There's no hotels around, so you have to stay in a rent by owner house or apartment or something like that. Even though the water was very cold, we thoroughly enjoyed it. It was just so beautiful. Our second vacation destination was Panama City Beach, Florida. We had all been on a Florida beach vacation before, so we knew what to expect. 2 things are certain about a Florida vacation in July. That is, it's hot and it's crowded, and this time did not disappoint. It was hot and it was crowded. We spent our days swimming in the ocean, snorkeling. There's not as much wildlife to see on the beach as it is in a spring because, of course, there's so many people that the fish and turtles and all are scared away. But you still could look for shells and those type things. At the nighttime, we walked along the beach and we looked for ghost crabs with flashlights. Ghost crabs are tiny little white crabs that you can only see at night with a flashlight, and we thoroughly enjoyed it. The accommodation, there are other things to do on the beach. You can parasail or jet ski, but these type activities are pretty pricey, and there were 5 of us, so we just relaxed on the beach mostly. The accommodations for a beach vacation are pretty pricey. If you want to stay on the beach, you had to pay for it. And also, the condominium that we stayed in held 4,000 people. So you can imagine 4,000 people on the beach and at the pool. It's very crowded. So the water was beautiful when we visited, but with that many people in the water, you can't think that the water is very pure. Our Florida vacation was made up of two very different type activities. The springs that held the natural beauty of nature, and we really loved it. My daughter didn't care for it as much because she's 17 and she liked being on the beach and being around people. My stepsons thoroughly enjoyed the springs. It was nature. It was just fun to explore and find new things, and that appeals to 10 and 14-year-olds. My husband and I thoroughly enjoyed both of them. So even though they were different, we had a good time at both places. The beauty of the beach is indescribable also. You have, as far as you can see, is blue water and blue skies and just the vastness of nature that you get when you look at the ocean. So we thoroughly enjoyed it. So even though they were very different, we enjoyed ourselves immensely. But I just wanted to tell you about a different type vacation. Everyone goes to the beach, but Florida Springs are awesome. So I hope you enjoyed hearing about our vacation as much as we enjoyed going on our vacation.